Alright, let's talk about Modern Warfare 3. The beta has officially ended after 2 weekends of playtesting. So, we got our hands on the game. We got to see how it was feeling, the new gameplay mechanics, enjoy some of the old MW2 maps, which brought back some insane nostalgia. And today, I want to talk about the pros and cons of Modern Warfare 3 and how it's going to relate to this upcoming Call of Duty League season. Essentially, how will MW3 affect the competitive Call of Duty scene? It goes without saying, but last year was very underwhelming when it came to competitive Call of Duty. Obviously, the teams and the storylines were very good. The game did not complement that, and neither did the maps, by the way. I think that there's going to be some hope for the competitive Call of Duty scene, and I already know people are going to say MW3 is literally MW 2.5, but I really don't think that that's the case because there have been a bunch of gameplay changes that make the game feel so much different. And I'm not saying that MW3 is completely different from MW2 because obviously there's a lot of similarities with the game, but there is a couple new changes that I think will be beneficial to the Call of Duty League. Alright, so let's begin with the pros of MW3. Yes, Modern Warfare 3 is a better version of MW2 2022, but I also think that there are some aspects from Advanced Warfare when it comes to the gunplay. On top of that, there's been some rumors that the BAL and the ASM-1 might be coming to MW3, which if you know me, I mean Advanced Warfare is easily one of my favorite Call of Duty games.
Oh shit. Here we go again.
So I am not opposed to that at all. Obviously there's not jetpacks in the game, but when it comes to the gunplay, it does feel pretty similar to Advanced Warfare. Some of the more notable changes to Modern Warfare 3 are definitely the movement mechanics, and I think that will have a big impact on the competitive scene and will make the game way more enjoyable to watch and also to play. I mean, think about it. Slide canceling is back in the game, and it's pretty easy to slide cancel and do some nice movement mechanics. Also, drop shotting is a very useful tactic when it comes to MW3, and just like last year, ledge diving, where if you dolphin dive you can hit the ledge and just fly forward. These new movement mechanics will definitely make the competitive scene have more of a skill gap, but also make it more enjoyable to watch. I was just talking about Advanced Warfare. Whenever Advanced Warfare was out, the competitive scene was extremely fun to watch because a new aspect was added to the game and it was super fast paced. I mean, even with the boots on ground game like Cold War was still really fun to watch because you had Shotzzy slide canceling everywhere and literally destroying people. Another pro to MW3 is having the red dots back on the minimap.
Finally!
Last year was one of the first games where that wasn't a thing, so you were heavily reliant on audio for your game. People would just put loudness EQ on and it was raps. You could be running across the map and people could still hear your footsteps, and that literally just kills like search and destroy whenever you're trying to make plays. You literally can't flank in that game unless you have dead silence. Having the red dots will be very useful to have kind of understanding where the team is at, and it will just change the whole dynamic for competitive games and how they will be played this year. If you got a chance to play the beta, one of the major changes you'll notice is that the TTK is a lot higher now. The health has been increased from 100 to 150, so the TTK is a lot higher. Like in MW2, the TTK was way too low, but now in Modern Warfare 3, you actually have the chance to escape if you get shot in the back, or if somebody beats you around the corner. You can do movement to get out of their way and make some better plays. But I think this will play a major factor when it comes to respawn game modes. On top of not having red dots on the minimap last year, dead silence also wasn't a perk, so you had it as a field upgrade, which means you only can use it a few times every game. But now with this Call of Duty game, dead silence is now a perk, so you can actually run around the map with the covert sneakers and be pretty quiet, and this makes the search and destroy community so much better. And I'm so thankful that this is a perk back in the game. It will add a whole new level of strategy back into search and destroy. This year there's no visual recoil in MW3, so when you shoot, smoke doesn't come out of your gun like in last year, so that's another plus when it comes to MW3. On top of that, the guns were actually pretty fun to use. Like I said, they kind of remind me of Advanced Warfare. The MCW and the Striker 45 were really smooth and really good to use. They essentially had no recoil, so that's pretty consistent with the last few Call of Duty games. Last year, sniping really wasn't that good, but this year, sniping is almost too good. The longbow sniper was incredible incredibly overpowered. It's literally an AK, but in sniper form. Like, it doesn't even make sense. I'm sure there'll be some GAs when it comes to sniping, but it is a good alternative to regular guns, and it will be really useful going forward in search and destroy because the sniping is really smooth in this game. I really enjoyed this game because it felt a lot more arcadey and a lot less realistic from previous Call of Duty titles. That's just my personal opinion. I know some people like realism. Having a little less realism and being able to, you know, run around like crazy is always a plus and always makes it way more fun to watch competitive Call of Duty. Those are the pros in my personal opinion that will be beneficial to the competitive Call of Duty scene going forward. And here are some of the cons, some complaints that I've heard from other pros and people in the competitive scene. One of the major things was footstep audio was very hard to distinguish. Like, if my teammates were running right next to me, it was pretty difficult to tell the difference between enemy footsteps and my teammates' footsteps. So hopefully when a game officially releases, that will be something that will get changed. Another thing that I kind of hit on before is that some of the snipers were literally just way too good. It was pretty much just an AR, and all you needed to do was hit the first bullet and they were dead. But I am happy that sniping is back in the game because I've already seen like FaZe Adapt hit a trick shot, and that's just straight nostalgia. You love to see it. As far as the movement goes, there's no bunny hopping in this game, which I would really like to see back in the game. I think it would make the game a lot more fluid with the current movement mechanics that are in the game. I think that would be a great change, not only for the competitive scene, but also for Warzone whenever that comes out. One of the biggest things, and if you're watching this, you're probably like, why haven't you already talked about this, is that spawns are atrocious. The spawns in the beta were just probably some of the worst that I've seen. Seeing some of the pros talk about it on Twitter, they are in agreement that these spawns are very bad. I'm sure Call of Duty already knows this, so hopefully the developers can make some good changes to the game because it was pretty rough, I'm not gonna lie. From my personal opinion, I would like to see a better third game mode rather than Control. I think Control will be in the game this year, but like I miss like the old days whenever like CTF was in the game and stuff like that. I just feel like that's more entertaining to watch, but that's my personal opinion. Let me know if you guys actually like Control, or if you would replace Control, what would you replace it with? Like, what game mode would you put? But overall, I think Modern Warfare 3 was a very solid game, especially for multiplayer, and with the old school MW2 maps coming back into the game. At least we're guaranteed some good maps this year, so I'm really excited for that. For sure it is better than last year, 100%. Like, the movement, the mini map, dead silence will make competitive Call of Duty way more fun to watch and play going forward. The more arcadey Call of Duties have always been more enjoyable to watch in my personal opinion, and I already know some people are gonna get absolutely smoked this year with some of the movement. It's gonna be crazy. Some of the clips are gonna be crazy this year, so I cannot wait to see what goes down in the competitive Call of Duty scene this year. But the competitive Call of Duty season is literally right around the corner, and the official game drops on November 10th, so we're less than 4 weeks away. I think that this year will be very good for the CDL, and it will be better than last year. And overall, it's just better to be optimistic than to chalk the season before it begins, because we really won't know until the game actually releases, until the season starts. But overall, I'm hoping for a great year, and these were some pros and cons of Modern Warfare 3. What do you think about the game, and how do you think it will do in the Call of Duty League this year? Let me know down in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching this video. There's more videos coming very soon, so stay tuned to the channel. That said, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope you have a great week, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Until then, peace.